What was your most intense moment, you think, being on ESPN?
Man, Stephen A. and I used to get into it. Whew. I guess it would be my Richard Sherman moment, and I wound up working with Richard Sherman, but it was a ways back, I think 2012. We were doing.
Yeah, we saw that clip, right?
Did you see it?
Seen it earlier, yeah.
Wait, what? Where he calls?
When he said
he's better than you? Yeah, it's classic.
He's not, but whatever.
That was a crazy clip.
Here's the quick, funny underside of that story. So Stephen A. and I are on First Take in the mornings, Eastern time from 10 to noon. And it's doing well. We had some issues. Some people got suspended. I didn't, but some people did. And we were kind of on probation for a while. And we got through our probation successfully. And then they said, okay, let's try you guys out, audition you for an afternoon show, because Stephen A. hated getting up in the morning. He was always up late at games. So he said, we got to do this because maybe we can get in the afternoon block as a hour show as opposed to 2 hours. Okay, I'm with you. I'll try. Let's try this. So we were on a 2-month probation period in the afternoon where we were just auditioning, and we'd do a half hour a day on top of the 2 hours in the morning. We'd go eat lunch and throw together another rundown and just do a half hour. We are to our second to last show. We're almost home, and we're getting rave reviews up on the 5th floor from management for our afternoon show. And we're thinking, we got this. Richard Sherman's people call and say he would love to be on the afternoon show. Would you like him? Well, sure. It's short. It's only like 22 minutes of television with the commercials. But if we could have him off the top of the show, we could take him for a segment and do, 10-ish minutes. And fine. Okay, let's do this. And Richard's people told my producer, no controversy. He'd been involved in several controversies. He went after Tom Brady in a game they won up in Seattle. And you like that, bro? I forget what. Oh, no, you mad, bro? That was the question he asked Tom. Are you mad, bro? And he was needling Tom through the whole game. Whatever. And yet the people told me, don't. He don't want to be challenged. Just let him talk ball. Off season. This is in March. It's not even in the season. Fine. And so he's sitting down to get mic'd up, and we come on live, and I'm looking at the monitor thinking, wait a second, he's not ready. And my producer says in my ear, vamp, do something, because we're going to go right to Richard. We're in tight TV blocks with, this is all different. We don't have to worry about.
It's not live.
It's a 30-minute slot, wasn't it?
I think it was from 2:30 to 3:30 Eastern time. Okay, so Richard's. He's got his earpiece in, but they're putting the rest of the gear on, and they come to me, and I don't know what possessed me, but I said, I'm looking forward to talking to Richard Sherman. I think he's about to arrive, but he's still not better than Darrelle Revis, because at that point, Revis was just, I don't know if you guys remember Darrelle Revis.
Yeah, Darrelle Revis was
Revis
down.
Island,
Yeah.
he was.
We remember Champ Bailey, too.
He was the man in Champ Bailey. That you could have made that case at that moment. Well, Richard hears this in his ear. He's not mic'd up. And then he sits down, and our moderator asked him the first tame, lame question. It's just some off-season football question. And he attacks me. Now think about the hot seat I'm sitting on, because if I engage too hard with him and we have an incident, even though it became an incident thanks to him, but if I respond in kind to him at that point, and it blows up and becomes an ugly, so to speak, black eye for the network, then we're going to lose our shot at having an afternoon show. We're going to be back on probation. So for me, I tried to stay above the fray and kind of laugh along with it, but still go back at him. And it was hard because I was biting my tongue, and Stephen A. wasn't even in studio. He was remote. And he sort of went quiet because I think he was horrified. Like what?
His face was just
hilarious.
Huh?
His face.
And I kept waiting. I was hoping Stephen A. saved me. Like jump in and you don't have to defend me, but maybe defuse or whatever you could do.
You seem like you held yourself. You contained your temper.
I just tried to hang right in and be rational and reasonable. And I tried to explain football-wise that I don't think he's the best because he's got the two best safeties in pro football are behind him in the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
And he plays a lot of what's just cover two, where he's got his little area to cover, and he doesn't travel with receivers the way Revis does, where you've got him, you got their best receiver, and wherever he lines up, you go with him. Like Richard just stays where he stayed. But Richard was really good, and I worked with him at Fox 2 years ago, so I got to know him, and we went through this whole thing and laughed it off. But he heard Revis is better than me, and if you know Richard, he is hot-tempered, like he just explodes, and he exploded on live TV. I also think he was kind of on I think I told him this on the air, like you're on a national campaign to make yourself a thing. You're trying to speak yourself into existence. So I thought maybe he was challenging me, the big guy. I'm going to go after Skip Bayless to create more of a name for himself. And there may have been some of that going on. And then Richard's performance carried him after a while, and he's really good. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He is that good.
What did that moment teach you of when you're live and he catches you off guard like that?
Remember, my mind's flying 1,000 miles an hour because Stephen A. wants the afternoon slot, and so now I have to recalibrate. How do I do this? How do I respond without provoking craziness? Because we're live now. This is not live to tape. This is live to live. This is explosive because it's going to go out. And remember, this is Disney owned, ABC, ESPN, and you can, and there'd be potential for a curse word, an F-bomb to fly, not from me, but from if I keep pushing back. Because Richard, I know him. He is volatile. He's had some other incidents in his personal life, off the field life, that have been volatile. And I don't know exactly what I'm dealing with at that point because I didn't know him. So I'm tiptoeing, but I'm not backing up. I'm tiptoeing forward and trying to hang in with him and not let him just run over me without provoking. And the funny part was, of all the things I did in, how many years was I there? I'll say 2004 to 16, 12 years. I was there for 12 years. In all the things I ever did, I got more kudos from the bosses on the 5th floor over that than anything I ever did, because I held my own without losing my temper.